Let's see. Let's see. Can you see my screen? Can you see my screen? Uh, okay. Let's see the data. Let's see the data. Let's see. Okay, it was positive for the dollar. Wow, this is positive news for the dollar. So we expect dollar to gain value. So let's go to the chart and see what's happening on the charts. So with this data that is released, USD should gain value, should gain more strength. Okay, let's see. Let's go to the charts. Let's see what's happening on the charts. Can you see my screen now? Can you see my screen? Not yet. Okay, I think it's loading. Few minutes. Few minutes. Few minutes. The network is not stable. The network is not stable. You can see my screen now, right? So you can see gold. Let's start with GBP USD. Now, what was my plan for GBP USD? Let's see. Uh, I was looking for a buy opportunity. Technically, I saw a buy setup on 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 GU. My plan is to buy GU this week. Let's see. But right now, the news favor the dollar, so we expect more bearish move for GBP USD, Euro USD, uh, Australian dollar USD. Okay, so let's see what's happening to MT4, please. MT4 is not responding. Please be patient. What's happening to MT4? MT4 is not responding. Just be patient. Patience, patience, patience. MT4 is not responding. Just hold on. Okay. So this is you can see what's playing out on GU. The news favored the dollar, and before the news was released, a fair value gap was created. As you can see, we had this is a bullish reversal pattern, a spinning bottom, and this is an engulfing candle. This candle engulfed this candles, these bearish candles. It engulfed 1, 2, 3 bearish candles. Okay, so I think after that engulfing pattern formed, okay, I think a fair value gap was created. A fair value gap was created. Let's go down to 15 minutes. Let's go down to 15 minutes. I think a fair value gap was created, and probably price will fill that fair value gap before going bullish. So you can see this fair value gap. Okay, you can see this fair value gap that was created before the news was released. Okay, so I was expecting GU to pull back and fill this fair value gap before going bullish. Okay, so you can see they've not filled it entirely. Okay, but it is also possible for them to, push price below. This is an area of liquidity. These lows, these relative equal lows, are areas of liquidity. And since the news favor the dollar, they might want to push price below these lows just to clear liquidity. So the pattern that forms inside this gap will determine if I would go bullish. If a bullish reversal pattern forms after these gaps get filled, I would go bullish. But if price breaks out from this fair value gap, then there's a high probability they will come clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. Okay, they're likely going to come for the liquidity residing at this previous low. And if they're able to clear this low, I would look out for a buy setup. So it's either a bullish reversal pattern forms after this gap gets filled, or it forms after liquidity has been cleared. And that's what I'm looking out for. Okay, that's what I'm looking out for. Which pair are you trading, Mr. Will? Which pair? Which pair are you looking at? And same thing would apply. Let's see gold. I believe gold has a fair value gap that needs to be filled. We have a fair value gap here on gold that was created. I think it was yesterday. This fair value gap was created yesterday. So gold is likely going to come and fill this gap before going bullish. It's likely going to come fill this gap before going bullish. So I would be considering buying gold. Liquidity residing, I think this is the low for the day so far. This is the low of, yeah, this is the low so far for the day. Am I correct? No, we have the lows here for today. I think the market opened. Okay, this is the low for today. So they are likely going to clear the liquidity residing at this previous low. And since we have a fair value gap below that low, they might also want to fill that fair value gap. So I will be considering buying gold after this fair value gap gets filled. Okay, I will be considering buying gold after this fair value gap gets filled. Also, a bullish reversal pattern must form after this gap gets filled before I would go bullish. I wouldn't just jump in and start buying because the gap gets filled, okay? I would wait for a bullish reversal pattern to form before going bullish. I hope you're getting me. So that is what I'm looking out for on gold, okay? I expected this, okay, GBP, JPY, okay, we'll look at that in a few minutes. I was expecting this bearish, this pullback on gold. I was expecting it, and it's playing out. So I'll wait for a bullish reversal pattern to form before going bullish on gold. Okay, so let's see. The next 4-hour candle will be by 5. Let's see by 2 p.m. The candlestick pattern that forms after this gap gets filled will determine if I would go bullish on gold. Okay, so let's see GBP JPY. GBP JPY, let's see. So GBP JPY is still, my bias for GBP JPY is still bullish. Okay, it is still bullish. If you joined the class we had on, was it on Saturday? I told you guys you should wait for a pullback on GJ, right? Wait for a pullback on GJ. As you can see, price had pulled back. Okay, so this would have been a good entry for GJ. Now, let's see if a fair value gap was created after this candle form. Let's see if a fair value gap was created. Let's see fair value gap. Let's go back to 4-hour. Okay, so after this 4-hour, let's go down to 1 hour. Okay, on 1 hour, was there a fair value gap here? No, let's go to 15 minutes. I'm sure that's the reason for the pullback. So you can see on 15 minutes, the fair value gap that was created, you can see the reason price had to pull back. You can see the gap got filled. See what happened after the gap got filled. You can see the rejection. Then the gap got filled. You can see price started going up. So this would have been the best time to buy GJ. You can see after this candlestick broke out from this high, you can see when price filled the gap, after price filled the gap, price went into a range for some minutes or for some hours. Price went into a range, you can see. So you would have waited for breakout from that range before buying GJ. So this would have been the best entry for GJ. Buying at the current market price is the risk is a little bit high, because if you had entered from this point, probably you would have set your stop loss at this point, 56 pips, right? The risk would have been 56 pips. And by now you would have made 80 something pips. By now you would have taken some profit out of the market. If you didn't even close all the trade, you would have taken 80 something pips. You could close partial, maybe 50% or 70% of the profits that you have made in the market. So right now you cannot buy. If you buy, it's very risky, because if you are buying from the current market price, your risk will be at this point. This is where you set your stop loss. This is about 100 and something pips. That risk is too high. So if you want to trade GJ, I would advise you wait. If you don't have a trade, if you don't have a bullish trade on GJ, if you don't have a buy trade on GJ right now, I would advise you wait for price to pull back. Okay, wait for price to pull back to this area. Probably the high of this fair value gap, 194.23, which is about 70 pips from the current market price. Wait for price to pull back to this area. You buy, set your stop loss using the low of this candle. That's my take on GJ. My bias for GJ this week still remains bullish. Let's go to, okay. So GJ is likely, like I told you guys during the weekend session, GJ is likely going to come clear the liquidity reset at this previous high. We have liquidity reset at this highs, liquidity reset at this high, liquidity reset at this highs. So there's a high probability they would come for this SL, for this liquidity. Okay, so that is where GJ is aiming for. So if you take the trade now from this point and you're risking 100 pips, let's see, the main focus should be the risk reward, right? That should be your focus. So if you're risking 107, and at this point, you can see 109 pips. So it's just like risk reward 1-to-1. The risk reward is very poor. That is why you have to wait for price to pull back to this area before you buy. And if you buy from this area, your risk will reduce to 50 or 50 something pips. So let's assume you are buying from this price. You can see, look at the risk reward. This is about 1-to-3. 1-to-3 risk reward. You can see, but if you jump in now and start buying, your risk reward is 1-to-1, which is very poor. I hope you get that. So that's my take on GJ. If you don't have a buy trade on GJ at the moment, wait for price to pull back to this area before you buy GJ. I hope that is clear. Which other pair are you looking at? Which other pair? Which other pair? Which other pair are you considering trading? Okay, you don't have any trade on. It's okay. It's okay. So let's see what's happening on Euro, Australian dollar, bearish. Okay, Euro, Australian dollar is bearish. That was the bias for the week. During the weekend session, I told you guys my bias for Euro, Australian dollar is bearish. I'm waiting for price to pull back, and you can see from Monday to that's yesterday. You can see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, price pulled back to a premium area. Let's go to 4-hour. The reason for that pullback, I'm sure a fair value gap was created. Okay, so price had to pull back. You can see to a premium area before going bearish. Let's go to 1 hour. So you can see. So I expected this move on. You can see here we had a fair value gap. You can see the reason for the pullback. You can see this fair value gap here. You can see. Can you see the reason for the pullback? So price had to pull back to fill this fair value gap before going bearish. Can you see? It has to pull back. That's the reason for this pullback, was to come fill this fair value gap. They attempted filling the gap here, but they could not fill it entirely here. You can see price just entered into that gap, but it didn't touch this one. But you can see at this point, it touched it. You can see it's bearish right now. Bearish right now. That's it for Euro, Australian dollar. And it's still going to be selling till it's going to come to clear liquidity reside at this low. This is about 200 and something pips. You take this trade from this point, you'll be risking close to 100 pips. The risk is a little bit high, but if you compare it to the reward, and this will require a lot of patience. This can happen today, it can take days, and it can take weeks. So it requires a lot of patience. Okay, so that's it for Euro. Also, let's see Australian dollar USD. Australian dollar USD should be bullish. Okay, Australian dollar USD should be bullish, but because of the data that favored, the news favored dollar, that's why it looks bearish at the moment, because the news favored dollar. Okay, and you can see on Australian dollar USD, we have a fair value gap here. So they might want to push price down to this level to just fill the fair value gap before going bullish. Let's see. They might just want to push price down to that area to clear liquidity. Okay, so you can see the fair value gap that was created here. Okay, so let's go down to 1 hour. Let's go to 1 hour. So if I decide to take this trade now, let me see the risk involved. My stop loss is about 40 pips. Okay, my risk could be 50 pips. And my first target will be this high. Is about 67 pips. That's not up to 1:1.5, right? It's not up to 1:1.5. Let's go down to 1 hour. Okay, so you can see on 1 hour. So it is likely price would not come to this gap. You know why? So on 1 hour, the fair value gap, this is it. This is the fair value gap on 1 hour. Okay, so they might not fill this gap because the reason is that we had, you can see here, we also had a fair value gap inside this fair value gap. You can see we also had another fair value gap, and this gap has been filled. You can see we had another fair value gap here. So this gap has been filled. So if the current 1 hour candle closes bullish like an hammer, then one should consider going bullish on Australian dollar USD. Patiently wait for the current candle to close bullish before you buy Australian dollar USD. Okay. So if you are buying, okay, so you can see on 15 minutes. So wait for this current 15 minutes to close. If it closes bullish, you might want to go buy. The stop loss should be few pips. Like I said, 10 pips below this low. That's where you should set your stop loss. Okay, so that's my take on Australian dollar USD. Any question? Any question? Is there any other instrument you want us to look at? Let me know in the comment section. Any instrument you want us to look at, let me know in the comment section. I guess others are at work. That's the reason they couldn't join the session. And I actually didn't plan for it. I just felt like, okay, let me come online and share my thoughts with you guys. And let's just see the market and let's see how traders react to the news. Okay. So if there are no questions, let me know if you have any question. If there are no questions, then we'll come to the end of today's session. Olamide, how are you doing? Any question? Any question? Any question? Any question? Olamide, when are you starting your class? Let me know. Let me know because I have a lot of appointments. Let me know so that I would prepare for the class. How are you doing, Olamide? Can you hear me? All right, all right, all right, all right. I wish you guys a wonderful day. Enjoy the rest of the day. Bye for now.